Excited for this game.
In Illinois from your time at Weber?
Just one time. Nick Hill was the head coach there at that point. I have tons of respect for him. I think he's a great play caller. I think he does a phenomenal job with his program. I thought they were tough then. They showed the same toughness and tenacity last year on film. And he's had a lot of really good teams there. So they've got our full attention for sure.
How did Tanner Wall basically win the starting free safety spot?
Consistency. I like the whole group, but Tanner's been super consistent. He shows up every day, had a great summer, and he's graded out well. So I'm excited to watch him play.
How close is Ephraim Asiata to being ready to play or contribute early on?
Well, Ephraim's going to contribute, and he's going to be a great player in this program for a long time. And this goes for a lot of the freshmen. You're going to see those guys playing. And how much they play is going to be dependent upon how fast they pick up just the speed and physicality of the P4 game. But we got a lot of young guys that I see their progression coming along, and you'll see more and more of them as they get older in the program.
On that safeties depth chart, you got a lot of experience at strong safety and then very little outside of Tanner Wall at free safety. Will they be interchangeable or?
They are. I mean, I feel comfortable. Like I've said this before, we've got 6 guys that have started games in that room. We got 3 really talented freshmen to join to them. Really, there's probably 10 guys that we could play and win with, but we'll see how they play and how they continue to earn more reps in the games to come.
The Salukis aren't naming a quarterback kind of like you guys aren't. Does that help or hurt you guys at all?
It doesn't really matter. I think we have a good idea of the scheme that they'll play. We've studied both quarterbacks and the reps that they've had either at Southern Illinois or the other programs that they've been at. So we've tried to study them and try to, just identify what we think that they will do with those skill sets in their offense.
Stylistically, what do they look like to you?
Athletic. I think they both have good arms. I know what Nick Hill's played with at quarterback over the last 4 or 5 years, and they're competitive, tough guys that usually do a good job of taking care of the football, and we would expect nothing less from these guys.
How has Logan Latui evolved since his days at Weber and now being a factor at that OE spot?
Well, I love coaching him. He was a great kid to recruit. He came in right away and showed promise in his days at Weber, and then the times he did play, I thought he played really good. And then when I get down to BYU, he's become exactly what we hoped he would be. He's physical, does things right, and he's another one I think will have a really good year this year.
It's kind of a deep cut question, but when school starts, are you expecting any players that didn't matriculate in for fall camp like Tuakoi and Akawila? Do you expect them to enroll?
We're still hoping for one right now, and I don't think it's fair to them yet who it is, but we're still hoping to get one at the start of school. So. Good. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
You guys. Here's Tanner.
Right up close to that. Yep, nice and close to that mic.
We're good.
How satisfying, Tanner, was it to get the starting nod in a heated battle?
Just really excited. Super grateful for being able to come back off an injury, and recover fully and feel really good out here flying around with the boys. But it's definitely been a heated battle in the room with lots of great players, and I think it's elevated all of us to play better, and just super excited to put our finished product out on the field on Saturday. A lot of work this offseason that went into that.
What's worked so well for you in the transition from wide receiver to safety last year, and just kind of where you taken to this position and had success?
I feel that just my football IQ from learning offensive schemes and understanding what weaknesses offenses are trying to attack. I think that's definitely something that's helped me mentally slow the game down as I'm playing back there. But just watching a lot of film. Jay Hill's one of the most knowledgeable coaches I've ever been around, so spending tons of time watching film with him and just understanding football has really, helped me slow the game down. And when I'm out there, I just feel super comfortable and play loose and have a lot of fun.
They've got 2 freshmen listed behind you on the depth chart. Are you taking on essentially a mentorship role with Prassis and Satuala?
Absolutely. I love those guys as my brothers. They're great players. Obviously, they've come in and have, earned the respect of not only our coaches but also the rest of the guys in the room and the rest of the guys on the team as great players, and I look forward to seeing them play a lot of football here at BYU and have a lot of success as well.
What's your excitement level just knowing that it's game week?
Oh, I'm so amped. I feel like I gotta tone it down a little bit to not mentally exhaust myself or waste any energy before we get to the game. So I'm super excited.
What was ultimately the catalyst to make the move last season from wide receiver to safety? What kind of broke the camel's back there?
I think there were just a lot of coaches who believed in me and believed in my athletic ability. Playing scout offense, being close to Coach Fowler, running the Scout O for a while. He was someone who was definitely heavily involved in that. And then ultimately it came down to, some good conversations with Coach Kalani, who's always believed in me as a football player and kind of encouraged that switch. And it was pretty natural right when Coach Hill got here. So I'm super grateful for those coaches who believed in me and gave me that opportunity to make the switch.
You started a lot of football games last year at free safety. This is
Right.
not new.
Right.
It seems new, but last year, how many games did you start, and what did you learn about your skill set, your playmaking skills at that position?
Started 3 games last season. I think I've learned to trust what I'm seeing a lot more from last season to this season, but I definitely believe in myself as a tackler, as someone who will come down and make the plays that need to be made. Also someone who reads the field well and understands where quarterbacks are trying to attack just based on preparation during the week and understanding schemes. So I'm looking forward to, even building upon and feeling a lot more confident in what I'm doing when we put that on the field on Saturday.
What do you know about the Saluki offense to this point in prep?
Right, big RPO team. They love run pass option. We watched a little bit on their quarterback too, their transfer, who we think will be the starter, who's pretty mobile, got a good strong arm. He'll throw the ball down the field and extends plays outside the pocket. So we're looking forward to staying in coverage and staying glued on those guys and getting a lot of good pressure too. I think our D-line is set to have a great game and cause him to make some errant throws outside the pocket.
I wanted to ask too about Micah Harper. For fans that maybe forgot about his playmaking ability, how would you describe how Mike has looked in camp and getting ready for the season?
Absolutely. Micah is an awesome player. He's extremely instinctive. I think that's what us as players and the coaches love about him is he pulls the trigger when he sees things and really just has that instinct to know what's coming and makes a lot of plays that way. So we're excited to see him put that on the field.
When you saw your name at the top of the depth chart for free safety, what was your first reaction, and then who was the first person you called or told?
My first reaction was just gratitude, feeling grateful that my coaches recognize my abilities. I think as someone who's had an interesting journey here, it's very rewarding to feel that, and to I just felt immensely grateful to God, to my Heavenly Father, to my parents, to a lot of people who've helped me get here, and then definitely first call was to my parents. So. And then shortly thereafter, my wife too. So she was super excited.
Talking about your path here, you come from the East Coast, place BYU doesn't really recruit typically. Gray shirting, red shirting, walking on, switching positions. That journey that you've had, how are you able to take that and now use that, what you've learned to be a leader in this clubhouse now?
I think it just adds to my character and who I am as a player and as a leader. I think my teammates, I feel that, and I hope that they recognize that in me, that I'm always going to be come in, put my head down, and do whatever it takes to help us win and help us be better, And so I come with that same approach every single day, and grateful that my teammates recognize that in me, and I want to inspire that in them as well, so that they can take that same approach, not only to football but to life, and tackle everything with that mentality of just outworking and outlasting if you have to.
Are you still a walk-on, or if not, when were you put on scholarship?
As far as I know, I'm still a walk-on. But given the way that NIL functions within our BYU program, Kalani takes care of everyone and looks out for all of our players. So super grateful to be being taken care of in a meaningful way like that. And I don't see myself as anything less than a scholarship player, and there's really no difference in the way that they're treated. So.
Has that been a grind financially on you being a walk-on, or because of NIL, is it not the typical walk-on story?
I mean, I would have to say it's probably a little bit more difficult. I'm grateful to have been blessed by a number of generous people as well, who are very invested in me and my success, and Nick Greer being one of those people at Built, who helped us out a lot. King Hussein. There's a number of other people who have been showed up several times for the walk-ons on this team and helped us be able to focus on football, and put that first. So
On the roster, who's been a great mentor to you as a teammate, to be able to put you in a position that is of success and prominence?
Would love to shout out Ben Bywater, a guy who may not be on the roster now, but we were planning on him being here, and he was here. Great brother of mine who was able to spend a lot of time around, and someone who always believed in me and encouraged me, even from when I was playing scout wide receiver, on the scout team. He always believed in me, and when I made the switch, he was super excited for that. And I would say guys like Talon Alfrey and Ethan Slade have really taken me under their wing as well, just to help me adapt to the switch and really love and embrace the culture of our defense.
With the injury you've had and the walk-on status, have you ever thought about is this not worth it and packing it in, or have you always been, I'm going to finish this thing?
No, when I commit to something, I'm all in on it. So my mind's been set on having this opportunity to start and to make a lot of plays and make a lot of people proud here at BYU, and so that's never gone through my mind.
BYU has a rich tradition of walk-ons. What's your message to those young men that may follow that same path of being a walk-on at BYU?
Take the bet on yourself, right? Trust the process and be willing to do whatever it takes to make your dreams come true, right? And to accomplish those goals that you have for yourself. And, I think this is definitely a place where that is possible because there's coaches who believe in players. Someone like Jay Hill who has made the promise over and over again that the best guys are going to play. So if you're a walk-on who grinds until he's the best guy, then, you're going to be rewarded. So I think my message to that would just be to outwork everyone around you and find ways to get better that might, that other people might not be doing, right? Some people, there's a lot of things on the surface that people focus on that they think are super important that at the end of the day don't really mean that much. And so finding ways to gain an edge on the guys around you and compete is something super meaningful.
Anything else?
It's probably on your bio, but what's your wife's name and what are your parents' names?
My wife's name is Corinne, so we got married in May. And then my parents are Ryan and Cher Wall.
Okay, so Corinne would be
Corinne. Yep.
Like the town in northern
Absolutely, yep. You see it on the back of all the trucks.
and then you're a smart guy. What are you studying right now?
So I just graduated actually in finance, and I'll be starting my MBA in finance as well this fall. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Thanks, Tanner.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tanner.
What's her name?
All right, here's Mark. Questions for Mark?
How's it going?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Start off with your health. Are you totally recovered from the ACL injury from last year, and are you good to go?
Yes, sir. Totally recovered. It's been about, I felt fully healthy probably in the summer. As far as now, though, 100% ready to go. Sure.
What do you think the readiness level of the defense is to finally get a game under the belts?
I think we all can say we're ready, but, you never really know until that first play of the game. So from my standpoint, I think we're ready as we can be. We had a lot of time to study these guys. So I think it's just about that first play, how we come out, and really that first drive is going to set the tone for us.
Talk about your journey. You were talking about the injury and what you've been through, but as you think back, what's your journey been like?
It's been a long one. So my last 2 years having somewhat of a major injury, it's been tough. You question a lot of things. Are you going to keep playing? Are you going to be good if you do keep playing? But I think I'm right where I need to be right now in the season, or with the beginning of the season started, I'm right where I want to be. So.
How did you do that? Because like you said, that can be tough to kind of figure that out for yourself.
Honestly, I didn't figure it out until early this camp. I went through a lot of struggles. I had to, look in the mirror a little bit. humble myself a little bit, understand that, you know, I am getting back. That's all that was. It's just getting my feet wet again the first 2 weeks of camp. That really helped me a lot in terms of getting my mental back, for sure.
On the depth chart, I think you're listed as a co-starter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know exactly what's going to happen Saturday night, or will you go into it kind of like a mystery as far as starting goes?
I believe, from my standpoint, I think I'm going to be in there starting. You know, I don't think it's too much of a mystery, but you never know what happens on Saturday. Whatever happens, I'll be ready to go, for sure.
Was it validating to see your name pop up on that 2 deep after the way last season ended and the spring ball training camp, all of that? Was it pretty validating to see your name on that 2 deep?
Yeah, for sure. Pretty, like you said, pretty validating, but also I understand that it's only 1 week. It's week 1, so this depth chart situation is, you know, all season. It could change tomorrow. It could change the day after that. It could change mid-game or mid-season, you know. So I don't really look at what it is now. I kind of just focus on day by day, for sure.
Kind of spoken like a man who's been through the process.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I know how it goes. Like you said, I've been around the way a few times, so I know it's never set in stone. So, and that's the good part about it. We got great corners in our room. We're all pushing each other. I know they have the same mindset, so it'll be good. It'll be good for us all season, for sure.
As far as facing an FCS opponent, you've obviously played at that level. Have you talked to your teammates about not overlooking these guys and taking them seriously?
I think, honestly, I was expecting us to have like more of that overlooking mindset, but I think we've done a pretty good job of understanding who our opponent is. FCS, FBS, I think we got to respect our opponents, and I think we do. I think we do a good job of just understanding who's coming in here. They're not slouches. You know, they're going to play hard. They have nothing to lose, and we have everything to lose, so that's how we're going to play, for sure.
Scheme-wise, what are you looking at? What are you seeing from them? What do you expect to be facing on Saturday?
It's going to be a physical game, for sure. It's going to be physical. I think they're going to bring out everything they got to beat us, trick plays, double moves. I think we'll be ready for it all, but I think they'll bring out a lot more of their playbook than they would have brought out for, you know, a regular FCS team. I think that's what I expect, but you never know going into Saturday, you know. So.
SIU's got a little bit of a reputation as a giant killer. They've
Yeah.
beaten a couple FBS teams.
For sure.
And fairly recently, I
Yeah.
think even. Does that kind of help sort of jump off the page for some of your teammates that don't have that experience of FCS football?
I think that does, for sure. For me personally, I played them at Weber State, and we lost on the last play of the game. So for me personally, I know who they are. I know how they play. I know how physical they can get. As far as the team-wise, I think it's exactly that. They beat, like you said, Giant Slayers. You know, they could beat whoever comes in there, and I think we have a good understanding of that right now. So I think we're in a good spot.
Mark, did you switch to number 2? I saw you in camp at number 4. You
Yeah.
were wearing number 2, and
Yeah.
was there any significance behind the number 2 for you?
Yeah, that's kind of my number. Been 2. My whole dad was number 2. Pretty much my whole career was number 2. Maury Mamba, you know, he was able to switch me 4 to 2. And he's a real one for that. So I appreciate that from him. Shout out Mo.
Is part of you looking forward to this game just because of the memory of that fan playing him at Weber?
Yeah, it hurts. So that memory, I'm glad we got him on the schedule at a bigger school, you know, a second chance for me. But every opponent, you know, I kind of look at, I want the same result. You know, whether if we win, that's obviously the main thing we want out of it. But I want to play good as well. Like you said, it's kind of that memory stuck. So I want to play well, obviously get the win, but definitely a memory that stuck with me, for sure.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Mark.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Good luck
you.
this weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Hope to see y'all out there, too.
This is our intern for PSL, Sally.
Hey, Allie, I'm Brett.